keeping their wallets tightly closed, and consumers are opening them once again. A Consumer Report survey found 7 out of 10 people say they finally feel flush enough to make purchases and decisions, well, that they've been putting off for as long as 5 years. But the survey also finding that the recession has turned consumer spending habits on their head. With more on this, Tod Marks, the senior editor at Consumer Reports. Tod, great to see you. So how is this changing permanently consumer spending habits?
Well, just as the Great Depression profoundly affected a generation of Americans in the 1930s, so too has the prolonged recession of 2007 that lasted till 2009, a couple of years and change, but had profound ramifications that still continue to ripple today. It turned the American spender into the American scrimper. And for many years, as you set the table when in the introduction, people put off life decisions, marriages, divorces, having children, home improvements, buying homes, buying cars, because they did not feel flush enough. But now they're beginning to open up those wallets. We've changed profoundly insofar as we're not the spendthrifts we once were. We're very cautious, we're very worried, and people don't have that sense of stability. Stability in their jobs, that it'll be here next year, in their stability, in the notion that their earnings are going to keep pace with inflation or be able to pay their bills. And they're also concerned that of advancement. They don't think, they're not as optimistic that the future looks all that rosy. But again, we're smarter, we're a little bit battle-tested, and we're beginning to open our wallet once again.
Well, it's fascinating, the results of this survey. Now, the things that you found people were spending on, groceries, personal care items, TV services, these are things that I think we've seen some inflation on. So if you're spending more on it, it might be because it just costs more.
Well, that's certainly true. But, you know, when you think about it, we asked people about their attitudes and behaviors in light of the recession. And one of the things we found interesting, we asked, if you got a tax return last year, what did you do with that money? And if you had a refund, I'm sorry, not a return. If you got a tax refund last year, or if you won a mythical lottery, say $100,000, what would you do with that money? Well, the majority of people were very conservative. You might say, hey, we're going to blow it on a vacation. We're going to buy a luxury car. Most people were using that, or said if they hit the lottery that they would use that money, or they did use their money from their refund to buy food, groceries, pay off debt, pay their energy bills, to fix up their homes. Very pragmatically oriented.
So the things that they will spend money on this year: electronics, appliances, a car, a home remodel. Now, that's an interesting list right there.
Yeah.
And I think the cars that are on the road right now are the oldest they've practically ever been in this country, something like 11 years. So people have been driving these cars for a long time. There's a lot of pent-up demand out there. Oh,
it's true. Their cars are older. I mean, it's going to get older for at least another year. But in 2007, the average age was around 9.9 years. Now it's about 11.4. So part of the upgrade has to do with, you know, hey, we put it off so long, we've got to get something new. But again, people are feeling more positive about it. With homes, I thought was really interesting, because not just are people buying homes, but sellers, people who want to put their home on the market, have a more optimistic outlook about their chances of doing well, a better forecast than they have in 8 years. In other words, they're more optimistic about sales than they've been in 8 years. So that tells you something.
I thought it was entertaining what people won't cut back on now. And you might think these are luxury. Premium streaming TV, cigarettes, Starbucks, gym memberships, mani-pedis. I would think that's luxury stuff, but apparently not.
Well, not all of it. I mean, 38% of people said they would absolutely not give up their streaming services and premium cable channels. 11%, hey, I'm not cutting back on my cigarettes, and I'm not cutting back on my Starbucks. So it is true. But fewer people were also holding garage sales, and fewer people told us they were willing to take a second job. So maybe things are getting a little bit better, and we do draw the line somewhere.
I love that. Okay, I have to ask you about how people are being frugal, because you keep making the point they are. A couple of things here: staycations, bringing your lunch to work. I like to do that. Waiting longer to get a haircut. What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, some people, these are kind of common sense, everyday things that I think we can do to save a few bucks here and there. And more people are doing that. So maybe that's a good thing.
Tod, thank you. Great job as always.